inside leg to your outside rein, almost like you're asking her to go into a frame for dressage. And you want to have kind of a nice wide hand. Your hand should always be as wide as your hips, especially when you're asking for some bend, because it's almost like, not that you've ever driven a bus and neither have I, but you've seen like a bus steering wheel, it's like this big. So it kind of gives you a little more control, a little more leverage having this great big steering wheel, as opposed to like, if you've ever seen, I don't know if your family watches NASCAR, but inside of like a race car, the steering wheel's like this big. So little tiny controlled movements. We want great big, like we want her to move around your leg. So do that 20-meter circle, nice wide hand, lower your hand a little bit. Yeah, work from your core. And ideally, when you get her in a good position, you'll feel almost an imaginary line from your belly button to the star of her forehead if she has a star. Or like to her unicorn horn. There you go. Yeah, good. And then when she does kind of get in that good position with that good inside bend, you notice that her head comes down.
Yeah.
So it's just, let's do one more circle actually. It's just kind of a reflection of wider hand, lower your hand, work from your abs, your belly button to her unicorn horn. And this will be helpful in eventing too for your dressage. Ultimately, what I would like to see is her nose to kind of come down and her face to be at the vertical. But at the very least, at the beginning, she needs that good inside bend. Yeah, and push her out, go straight ahead, go all the way around the arena again, pushing her into those corners. And this is normal that she's gonna try to go a little faster when you ask her to move over at first. To kind of counteract that, pull back on both of your reins a little bit and then push with your leg. It's almost telling her, my leg doesn't mean faster, it means over. The reason for that is if you imagine you have a big pasture and there's maybe a gate on the side and then a gate like where her face is. So there's like a gate on where your right leg is, a gate on your left leg, and then a gate where her face is. And by pulling the reins, you kind of shut the gate to the energy going out the front of her body. And so then only one of the side gates is open. Well, by pushing with your inside leg, you close that gate too. So only the gate on the left side of her body is open. And then she'll go out that gate. Good job. When you come back around to the V, let's come across the middle and change directions. And when you're doing this with a spur on, what I would like you to do is press with your calf first. If she does not respond, then press with your spur. And do it in that order every time. Eventually, she's going to listen to your leg, not your spur. You won't have to go to your spur. She'll hear you when you whisper. Yeah, good. The nice straight line across the middle of the arena. We always want to whisper, then tell, then shout. So you whisper by squeezing your leg. You tell her maybe like with a little bit harder of a thump, and then you kind of shout when you poke her with that spur. Kind of like when I was a teenager and I didn't want to clean my room, and my parents would ask me to clean my room, and I would ignore them and hope that it would go away. And so they would tell me nicely, I need you to clean your room. And then, like, I would ignore it, like she ignores me like sometimes, and then they would like kind of tell me, no, you are cleaning your room, or you can't have the car today. And then there would be shouting. You will be cleaning your room. And then I would finally listen. Well, eventually I would start to listen when they just said, hey, I need you to clean your room, because I knew eventually we would just end up shouting and I wouldn't get to use the car. Yeah, good. When you come around again, let's, right by me here, you'll just walk down this line of pulls. And you'll stay seated. You don't need to two-point it. I just want her to be in a nice straight line. No wiggling at all. No bulging. No counter bend. Just a nice straight line, and have her lift up over the pulls. So all of the stuff that we're doing today is called lateral movement. Lateral meaning like she's moving from side to side. She's not just going forward, she's moving away from your leg. Yeah, that's fine. So try to hold her with your reins. Use your reins first and then your leg when you ask for that lateral movement. Again, that tells her, like, you shut the gate to the front of her body. It tells her, no, I need you to move over. And as you get going faster, you kind of need to like shut and lock the gate at the trot or at the canter. You know, you're going to need more reins to kind of get that lateral movement, because as you go faster, it's that much harder for her. Let's come down your line of poles one more time to walk. And keep your, don't pull your inside rein. I want you to kind of hold that outside rein for your turn and push with your outside leg. When she bulges and turns a little too much, that's where you risk a couple of things. You risk her running out of a jump, but you also, at the very least, if she doesn't run out of a jump, if she doesn't work through her entire body, and do you know what I mean by that? Where like her whole body is kind of straight. If she bulges too much around the corner, she all of a sudden doesn't have to use her back legs properly. And as we want the jumps to get bigger and more correct, she has a beautiful way of going in a lovely jump style. We need her to use those back legs on the flat because that's what's going to build that muscle. If you want to go like, I have no doubt that she could go novice or even training level. She's got scope and she's got talent. We've got to get her to use her back legs properly. Let's bring her up to a posting trot. So a little shorter rein so your hands are out in front of you. If you ever feel like your hands are in your lap to make a difference, your reins are too long. They're perfect right now. Yeah, so as you go around, let's keep asking her to push out and bend to the inside. But I want you to think about too, we don't want to see her whole cheek. We want to see like her eyeball and her nostril. That's it. So for the most part, it should feel like her spine is straight from just behind her ears all the way down her tail, and her spine lines up with your spine with just a hint of inside bend. Yeah, and keep those nice wide hands. Very good. Very good. So that's your dressage. Now, as she goes around, once you get proper form out of her, which is what you have right now, ideally I would like her to round a little bit and kind of lift her back, but that's future dressage. But once we get her kind of tracking straight, she's not bulging to the side, then let's ask for a little more power, meaning, can we make her stride a little longer? Each stride covers a little more ground. To do that, you kind of squeeze her forward without loosening your reins, but you add a little more leg, and your posting becomes a little more dramatic. Your posting becomes a little more dramatic. So you go all the way up and all the way down. And I want you to be in the air an extra second or an extra half second. So kind of slow your posting down while squeezing her forward. Because rhythmically, we want her to still be 1, 2, 1, 2, like her trot stride. Does that make sense? Yeah. But we want each stride, instead of covering, say, 3 feet, we want it to cover 4 feet. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. So, see if we can make her stride a little longer still. This is what will get you extra points, Hunter, on the flat. And this is what will get you extra points for your dressage. Because if she's trotting along with the same length stride as like Shyla, have you met Shyla in our back pasture? She's 11 hands, she's like a big dog. Is she white? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So Reckless should have a longer stride than that because she's significantly taller. If she's just barely trotting along, that's not enough. Now, the struggle is we're asking her to trot properly, and we're asking her to trot on. So usually we start with trot properly. That's step 1. And then we sort of add an inch at a time, because this is hard for them. Sure is. When you let's do a 20-meter circle. little, and then when you come back, I want you to go down your line of pulls. And I want you to keep posting. Wider hands. Yeah. Like you're driving a bus. Keep coming, I'll get out of the way. So just keep cooking. Okay, we gotta be straight. Come again. So we need that connection, meaning your reins. And you need to kind of push her forward. This is where it's going to get hard for her because she'll have to lengthen her stride. You just keep posting, hands up. All right, back up. Okay. Ideally in here, I'll make it a little bit smaller because she's a pony. But ideally we want her to make one step in between here, not two. Okay. So hold that left rein. Hold her face, hold her face. Good. One more. That was a little straighter. So nice and straight. Yeah, good turn. Keep posting, hold your reins. Good. All right, go ahead and walk for a second.